Jay here from Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, we're in the studio, we are live, so make sure you are getting involved in the chat and the comments and hit that like button. Got loads of stories to get through. It looks like some things are happening at Manchester United when it comes to transfers, when it comes to deals, and it looks like we're acting a little bit grown up with some of the moves we're making, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I prefer us to be sort of, kicking around to the last minute and then spending £100 million on players that aren't good enough, but that's just me. So we'll get into all that. We're going to talk about Joshua Zirkzee. It looks like that's all but done, and he's going to be announced as a Manchester United player very soon. We'll also talk about Matthijs De Ligt, what is going on there. Another one that looks like it could be getting close to some sort of conclusion on that front as well. Plus, we've been linked with Dani Olmo, so we'll get into that one. That sort of came from left field, but we'll be seeing how sort of realistic that one is. Plus, also as well, Casemiro could be heading out the exit door. He's been linked with a move away for quite some time now. There's a little bit of an update there, so we'll get into all that. So make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Loads of people in the comments already. Good to see some of the usual suspects. Mick Holoholm, Dale Gibson, Phobos Taco Man, Brian Casey, Chris Smith, BMP Pokemon UK, Luke Chester, Jacoya Trot, Middle Tier. Thank you. Make sure all you lovely people are hitting that like button. All right, let's start with Joshua Zirkzee. We've had a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. Basically, it says there, you can see it. Joshua Zirkzee has started with medical tests for new Manchester United player. Face-to-face meeting with Erik Ten Hag will follow. Then he's going to sign a contract until June 2029 with option for further season. 42.5 million euro fee to be paid in 3 years to Bologna. I think they spaced it out, didn't they, rather than paying the whole buyout clause. United have spaced it out, which allows us to spend a little bit more money on other players during the window. Look, we've spoken extensively about this signing, about Joshua Zirkzee. His record is good. It's not amazing when it comes to goals scored, but he's a player that passes the eye test. He looks good. He looks like a good player. It is a shame we didn't see more of him at the Euros. We saw, 32 seconds of him against England, but just from those 32 seconds, I can tell he's absolutely amazing and he's going to smash it in the Premier League. So it would have been nice to see a bit more of him, but you have to trust this sort of scouting department and what they're doing, and it seems to be a lot of people that I've watched him say he is a good player. He does offer you something different. It'll be interesting to see how this works now. Is he going to play alongside Rasmus Højlund? Could we go back to two strikers? That would be unreal. Or, more likely, is he going to be backup or even rotated? Is there a case here where Joshua Zirkzee's been told, look, if you do well, you will be starting for Manchester United? Because Rasmus Højlund, it's a little bit odd with Rasmus Højlund, isn't it? Because in many respects, he's done really well in his first season. What was it, 16, 17 goals in his first season? Was it 16 in all comps, I think? Did really well in the Champions League, scored a load of goals. Then it took him a while to get going in the Premier League. Then he hit that mad purple patch, didn't he, where it was like 7 goals in 6 games. Then he had another little bit of a barren spell and then started popping up some more goals. So he did well. He did, for a young striker coming into the Premier League, I thought he did well. But there's still enough room there where you could say, perhaps, if another striker comes in and does well, Rasmus Højlund won't be first choice. It's not set in stone, his first choice. I think he is, but it's not guaranteed. I don't think he's done enough where you can go, no matter what, he's going to start the game. He didn't start the FA Cup final. I know we changed it because it was Manchester City and it was false 9. But to not start your striker in a FA Cup final in the biggest game of the season says a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is sort of room for manoeuvre there for Joshua Zirkzee in terms of breaking into the first team. That being said, though, I do think Rasmus Højlund will be first choice striker, and I think he should be. I think he's done enough in that first season. My point is, it's not a given. Middle Tier, welcome to the Academy. Thank you for joining the members. There's extra content on our members section. Make sure you go and check that out if you're not doing it already. Loads of good stuff on there. Let me know what you think about Joshua Zirkzee. Are you happy with his signing? Do you think this all makes sense? Sort of nice little quick bit of business there. The Euros ended and then we've got the deal done pretty much straight away. It's what you like to see because Manchester United have this habit, don't we, of dragging transfers out, of letting it get to sort of deadline day. I have been sat on this table at deadline day, or we've been in there in the other room, me, Joe and Macola, or me and Joe, or me and Scotty, or whoever. We've done a lot of deadline days since this channel started. And it's been like last-minute scrambles, last-minute deals. Or we've just about managed to get Facundo Palestri over the line at the 11th hour. Or we've just about managed to get Anthony or Casemiro or whatever. There's a lot of sort of last-minute dealings. And it's quite exciting when you're covering it from a content point of view because you're like, oh, it's great, deadline day, it's all happening. But it doesn't sort of indicate a club that's had a lot of forward planning when you're scrambling around on deadline day. Even if you want to go back a bit further, do you remember, I think it was a January deadline day, where it was like 10 o'clock at night where we signed Odion Ighalo, and there was talk that he had to knock on the doors and the hotel rooms of one of his directors and say, look, help me get this move to Manchester United sorted. It's a little bit ridiculous. So hopefully under Ineos we'll be getting deals done a little bit more quickly, and then you can get him into the squad, get him training with the new teammates a lot quicker. It just makes more sense. Akash K says, just concerned if he's on more than Rasmus in wages, that can sometimes cause a little bit of friction, can't it, with players? We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about Matthijs De Ligt. You can see here, we've got a story here. I think this is the Sky Sports sort of roundup. It says, Matthijs De Ligt, Jared Branthwaite, Lenny Yoro, Manchester United working on 3 centre-back transfers. Man United targeting centre-backs De Ligt, Branthwaite and Lenny Yoro. Bayern defender De Ligt is a strong option and is keen to join. United had a second bid rejected for Everton for Branthwaite. United have not given up on Lille's Yoro, despite his preference being Real Madrid. Now, with Yoro, I think, let's do it in chronological order here. So you see there, like, De Ligt, obviously, the manager knows him. He's open to coming to Manchester United. It seems that Bayern Munich are open to selling him as well. There was a little bit of pushback, I think, from Bayern Munich fans. I think there was this petition doing the rounds that had, I think it was like 70,000 signatures on it or something, that they wanted to keep him. A lot of politics goes on with Bayern Munich. They do have centre-back options, and I think they're still chasing Jonathan Tah from Leverkusen. So I think they've got other options there. I don't know what's happening with Kim Min-jae. Deo Upamecano usually starts, I think, for Bayern Munich as well. So they've got, you know, a few options at centre-back. So you can understand why they might be willing to let Matthijs De Ligt go. Not done yet, but it looks like this one is going to get done. And obviously it says there on the article, he played under Erik ten Hag at Ajax. It's quite ironic, isn't it? After all this talk of we're going to do things differently, and we are doing things slightly differently, but we still end up signing players from Holland or players that the manager knows have played under Erik ten Hag. So yeah, he spent 2 seasons at Bayern Munich, done okay. Obviously won a Bundesliga, in his first season. Last season, Bayern Munich underachieved. Didn't get the results they wanted, didn't win anything. For Bayern Munich, that is unheard of. Finished 3rd in the Bundesliga. I'm not blaming Matthijs De Ligt for that, but my point is, there is a little bit of a mini overhaul going on at Bayern Munich. They've signed some players, and they've signed Michael Elise, they've signed Paulinho, they're looking to sign Jonathan Tah as well, I think. So it doesn't surprise me that they're moving some players on. And if we can get De Ligt, I think that is a very, very positive signing. We're not just being linked with him, though. There's also Jared Branthwaite. Now, the Branthwaite deal, I think we've had 2 bids rejected. So it looks like Manchester United are going to have to make a decision as to whether we go in for a 3rd bid with Everton. They want, I think, around 70 million quid for him. You can see it here. Yeah, you see that Everton have turned down 2 bids for Jared Branthwaite. Are we going to go in for him? Are we going to push the envelope and give Everton the sort of money they want? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to sit and pretend I'm privy to what goes on behind closed doors at Manchester United when it comes to transfers. I'd be surprised if we spent 70 million on Jared Branthwaite. I think we're going to walk away from that one. It's just a feeling. I've not been told anything. Get involved in the chat in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you think we should go all out for Jared Branthwaite? Do you think we should say, no, we're doing business differently? We're not going to do like we did with Harry Maguire, like we did with Aaron Wan-Bissaka to a certain extent, of just paying what the selling club wants. We're going to sort of draw a line under it. There's also Lenny Yoro. That one is different in the sense that Lille are happy to sell him. I think the bid's more or less been accepted there by Lille. I think the bid has been accepted, sorry. The question is, does he want to come? Because Real Madrid want to sign him as well. So there's a little bit of intrigue there. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you want to see signing for Manchester United from centre-backs? Do you want to see De Ligt? Do you want to see Branthwaite? Do you want to see Lenny Yoro? How many of them should we sign? Do we need 2 centre-backs? I think we do, to be honest with you. I don't think we can just have 1 centre-back coming in, especially not now we've lost Rafael Varane, and especially not after all the issues we had at centre-back last season. We definitely need more than 1 coming in. Santa Notch says, the key thing is we're putting in offers and not just reports of us keeping tabs or monitoring. Yep. That's a good point. Looks like we are actually making concrete moves. Although I will get to one player we've been linked with in a minute that is a little bit more sort of down that sort of road. Sean Greaves says, Jay, where can I get that Stretford Paddock track top you had on the other day? I think you might need to speak to Stephen Elson about that one. I'll find out. That was a Stretford Paddock Football Club top, which is nothing to do with this channel, but I think you can get in touch with Stretford Paddock FC about that one. Ben Sorville says, is Zirkzee taller than Branthwaite? That is a very good question. I don't know. Anyone who does know, please get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know. Also, can you hit that like button? Smash a like. Let's talk about Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo has been smashing it in the Euros. I think he's joint top scorer with 3 goals. Helped Spain obviously get to the final, doing really well. Been linked with Manchester United. Give Me Sport. You can see an article here on Give Me Sport. It says 52 million Spain star open to Man United move. Now apparently United have been looking at him. There's other clubs that were linked with him, but they've sort of taken a step back. I think he was linked with Chelsea. I think he was been linked with Manchester City as well at one point. But it looks like Manchester United and Bayern Munich are the 2 clubs that are still looking at him and are open to signing him. Look, he is a good player. Do we need him? Are we going to go out and spend 52 million quid? 52 million quid is not the end of the world. It's quite reasonable for a player of that quality. There's the reasons I'm not too keen on this one, always. He operates in a position where you've got other options there. Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes is similar type of player, similar type of positions. His injury record isn't fantastic, if I'm being brutally honest. And also, a lot of this hype and interest probably stems from his performances at the Euros. I know he's done well at RB Leipzig, I'm not saying he hasn't, but because he's done so well at the Euros, it's added that sort of, oh, look at him, he's smashing it, should we get him? And I've always said I'm wary of buying players because of their international performances. We've done that in the past before. Karol Poborski, anyone, it's not always a good look. If you're going to buy a player, you should buy him based on what they do for their club, not for their country. That is my opinion. Otherwise, you might end up with another Kleberson. Matthijs Anderson, who's been a member of the academy for 43 months. That is brilliant. Says, I really hope Euro signs. What do you prefer, Jay? I prefer Lenny Euro if you can get anyone. That would be my choice. But ideally, I'd want 2. I'd want De Ligt and Euro. I think you need 2 centre-backs. I think that's got to be a minimum for Manchester United. We can't lose Varane, replace him on centre-back, and then just go into the new season with basically the same number of defenders we had as last season, but Johnny Evans is a year older. That is asking for trouble because I love Johnny Evans, but injuries were sort of taking their toll a little bit in the amount of games he could play. Willie Cambuala, jury's still out. Don't know what's going to happen there. Harry Maguire, I think he can do a job. Victor Lindelof, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'd like to see Victor Lindelof moved on. I don't think he's going to get moved on. If he is, we will give you an update as always. Let's talk about Casemiro. So, you can see here from the Manchester Evening News article, Al Ittihad open Casemiro talks. Manchester United midfielder Casemiro has opened talks with Saudi Arabia Pro League side Al Ittihad over a potential move to the club, according to Le Quip. They're the French outlet. The Brazilian who joined United. You know all the jazz about his background. I don't need to give you all that. Yeah, basically, Casemiro's in this sort of quandary, innit? Because he's on massive money. He cost Manchester United a lot of money. I think Manchester United will be willing to take a big loss on the 70 million quid we paid on him. But his wages are the top end of the footballing scale, not just the Manchester United scale. He's one of the highest paid players in the world. That is an issue. Because if you're going to move him on, if someone's going to buy him, they're going to have to match his wages or give him wages that are at least comparable with what he's on at Manchester United. A Saudi Arabian club could do that. You can imagine how Ittihad can pay his wages. The question is, are they going to do that? Are Manchester United willing to sell him? Manchester United will be willing to let him go. I think that's not too much of an issue. Is he willing to go, though? So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. This seems like a happy solution for everyone, but you never know. I think Casemiro's done. It pains me to say it. I don't think he's the player he was anymore. I don't think last season was just a blip because he didn't have a great season last season. I think we're watching the decline of him, and I think it'd be best for all concerned if we can move him on. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think. Santa Notch says Le Quip. Yeah, that's how I said it, innit? That's just the Mancunian accent in me. Tyson Barnett says, is there any free agents we can sign to improve? That's a good question, that. I don't know is the answer, but that might be a potential video looking at some free agents that Manchester United could sign this summer. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that as a video. I'll make a mental note of that. And we'll try and do something on that, looking at who Manchester United could do, because supplementing a couple of, big money signings with 1 or 2 free agents could do a job. We got Christian Eriksen, didn't we, as a free agent. He did a very good job, I feel, for Manchester United. I know he's fallen off a little bit, but I think it was a positive signing. Marcus says, technically, we are not a good team. We need more players like Olmo. We cannot keep the ball. Good point. Yeah, I understand that argument. I want to see Mason Mount, though, this season. I want to see what he's about. I want to see a little bit more of him, and I don't know if you're going to sign Dani Olmo and keep Mason Mount, or he's going to have more of a chance. I don't know. It all seems a little bit confusing, to be honest with you, if you do bring Olmo in. Awake says, Jay, your brow looks rather furrowed today. I hope you're doing well. I am, regardless of my furrowed brow. Andrew Abbey says, Jay, would you re-sign Reguilon again? I don't know. We need a left back. We do, because at the minute we've got Luke Shaw, and he missed a lot of games last season, didn't he? And he's away with England, and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back in 100%, to be honest with you. What is happening with Tyrone Malacia? I don't know. It's been a real shame for the kid, because at one point it looked like he was a real option, and then he's basically missed, well, he missed the entire last season, didn't he? Which wasn't great for him, so we'll have to wait and see there. So I would like to see a left-back coming in. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to be back later on with The Brew, myself and Stephen House, and I think Joe Smith's joining us for that one as well. So make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Go and check out all the other videos we've got on the channel. You've got Off the Bar, you've got an interview with Florian Pettenberg by Joe Smith. You've got all that good stuff as well. I'm going to be back as well this weekend. We're going to have the watch-along for the Euros final, England taking on Spain for that one. It's just going to be a Cobbie Mainoo watch-along. I'm not going to lie to you. So make sure you're hitting like, share and subscribe. I'm Jay Morty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.